The New King of Atlanta, Part 1. Zane Jackson was a 16-year-old who loved his neighborhood in Miami. He spent his days hanging out with friends, playing basketball, and dreaming about a bright future. But trouble seemed to find him more often than not. One day, Zane got into a scuffle at the local court with a few guys who weren't happy with his skills. It quickly escalated, and before Zane knew it, his life was about to change forever. When Zane's mom heard about the fight, she knew things were getting too dangerous for her son. She loved Miami, but she also knew it wasn't the safest place for Zane anymore. After a long conversation with Zane's uncle Malcolm, who lived in Atlanta, they made the decision. Zane would go live with Uncle Malcolm's family for a while. Zane was reluctant at first, but he trusted his mom. The day Zane packed his bags felt surreal. He stood in his room, looking at all the posters on his wall, the basketball trophies, and the memories he was leaving behind. His best friend Tito came by to say goodbye. Atlanta, huh? Man, you're gonna be living large, Tito said, trying to cheer Zane up. But Zane wasn't so sure. Miami was his home, and the idea of moving to a new city seemed overwhelming. When Zane arrived in Atlanta, he was immediately struck by how different everything was. The city was big and fast paced, but Uncle Malcolm's neighborhood was quiet and filled with huge houses. His cousins, Malcolm Jr. and Layla, were waiting at the door to greet him. They seemed friendly enough, but Zane felt out of place. Uncle Malcolm was a successful businessman who worked hard to provide a great life for his family. He welcomed Zane warmly, but made it clear that life in Atlanta would be different from Miami. "You've got a fresh start here, Zane," Uncle Malcolm said. "But you've got to stay focused, stay out of trouble, and make the most of it." Living in Uncle Malcolm's mansion felt like a dream, but it also came with a lot of rules. Zane wasn't used to the structure. He had a curfew, chores, and even had to attend a fancy private school, which was way different from his old high school in Miami. Everyone seemed rich and polished, and Zane wasn't sure where he fit in. Zane's first day at his new school was rough. The students were different from the kids back in Miami. Everyone was dressed in designer clothes, and the school was enormous. He felt lost in the hallways and out of place in the classrooms. But one thing that was the same was basketball. Zane spotted a court and knew he had a chance to make his mark. At lunch, Zane joined a pickup game, and just like back in Miami, his basketball skills quickly caught people's attention. He dunked, dribbled, and led his team to victory, impressing not just his classmates, but also the school's basketball coach. Zane realized that basketball could be his way to fit in, but it also brought some new challenges. Not everyone was happy with Zane's arrival. A senior named Marcus, who was the star of the basketball team, didn't like the new competition. "This isn't Miami, man," Marcus said after Zane's impressive performance. "You're not taking my spot." Zane didn't come to Atlanta to start problems, but he knew this was just the beginning of a new rivalry. As the days passed, Zane slowly started to adjust to the life in Atlanta. Uncle Malcolm's family treated him like their own, even though Zane often felt like he didn't belong in their world. He missed Miami, But he also started to see the opportunities Atlanta offered. The city was new, his future uncertain, but Zane was ready to face whatever came next.